What's up guys, this is Astranox. Here is my showcase for Winter, brand new limited hero from the aespa collaboration in Epic 7. This hero has great survivability with constant stealth and also very high offense because she builds up fixed damage with her skill number 3 over time, and also she's pretty much able to one-shot any hero because of that in the game. So it's gonna start right after this. This video is brought to you by Amazon Appstore and Amazon Coins. If you're going to spend for Winter, you should do so by using Amazon Coins. You can save up to 20% on in-game purchases from games who are on the Amazon App Store. The great news is that Epic 7 is now available on it, and you can start using Amazon Coins to straight up get more out of what you're usually spending or end up with more spare cash instead. It's a win-win scenario. It's very easy to get the best savings on the Amazon App Store and Epic 7. Just go down below and use my link and follow the instructions. If you use my link below, it helps me but also allows you to still get the best possible discounts. You can get up to 20% off, which is really awesome. Get a full 20% discount if you buy 50k coins. If you buy 10,000 Amazon coins for $82, they will give you $100 in the game, and so on with a bunch of discounts for different budgets. It's really easy to start saving. There's just 3 steps. 1. Get your Amazon coins. 2. Get Epic 7 from the Amazon App Store on your favorite device, Android phone or tablet. Or even better, get Amazon App Store now on Windows 11 and play Epic 7 directly from your PC easily with no complications. Currently available for the US and then globally. That's awesome. Once you've done that, just log into Epic 7 through the Amazon App Store. Just as easy as that. Why pay the full amount when you can get up to a nice 20% discount? There's really no reason not to use this method when it comes down to spending money in Epic 7. Check out my link in the description or comments section down below. Get Amazon App Store, get some Amazon coins, and start saving now. Let's start it off guys with my build for Winter. Now this hero, you don't need to build her like this, I'll explain why, but I'm going for maximum damage to show you guys what she's able to do. So I opted for a speed set so she can cycle faster and build up that fixed damage, that sweet fixed damage, which is super powerful, right? Now, I've opted for a penetration set. I'm trying to squeeze as much single target damage as possible from the skill 3 direct hit and then the skill number 1. We'll see what kind of numbers she can do with 15 skill ups, right? But there's definitely other ways to build this hero and I'll be talking about them. Now, I'm using her own artifact. I want to show you guys how thick the barrier is at plus 27, right? It is actually quite nice, especially with the stealth. It works hand in hand together. Like, if the barrier is not broken, if they can't get through the barrier, then you will stay in stealth. If they're trying to knock her out of stealth with attacks that hit everyone, she keeps barrier. If she still has it, she's still stealthed. It's great. Super big survivability boost, right? And the barrier scales based on level, so basically you don't need to worry about how much health she has. It doesn't scale based on her health, right? Now, I have various battles where I have different team compositions, right? Some teams that I prefer, like a combination with herself. Emilia plus herself is like super strong. More onto that in a minute, right? But I'm trying to show you guys the buildup of the fixed damage, which is ridiculous. So the way it works is that you can hit up to 20,000 fixed damage as you keep using the skill number 3. Now, the fixed damage happens after the direct hit. The first time you're going to be using the skill number 3, it's going to be your direct hit damage, and then you're going to get another tick of damage, and it's going to be the fixed damage of 5,000. And then the second time you use skill 3 is going to be 10,000 fixed damage, and then 15,000, and then 20,000 fixed damage, which is pretty much going to knock out any hero in the game. The issue is that you have to land a critical hit. Now, there are issues with that. Of course, you're fighting ice, you're fighting evasion-based heroes, you're fighting heroes that might be putting the anti-crit buff on their team. Especially if they have the anti-crit buff and they're ice heroes, you could be in for a roller coaster of emotions. So, yeah, now this hero, you want to definitely be bringing her versus a team that has a non-attack skill or more. And if you're fighting in a World Arena, they might be avoiding to use a non-attack skill so she doesn't trigger her passive, which reset her skill number 3. Very, very deadly. Some teams, they don't have a choice. Maybe you know, 4th, pick her, 5th, pick her in World Arena, right? And they gotta ban another one of your hero. She's let through. They don't have an ice hero, something like that. that fixed damage is going to be deadly. No matter how tanky their team is, she's going to be able to deliver. Now, you need to keep her in stealth, especially if you build her on the squishier side, right? If you don't build that much health and defense on her, you do have to be careful about heroes that attack everyone, heroes that can remove your buffs, heroes that can apply enable to buff debuff. If you got enable to buff debuff on her, right, if she's silent, stuff like that, you need to have her passive trigger. Like, a non-attack skill needs to be happening. Like, Angel of Light Angelica, she could be like, you know, using skill number 3, and then her passive will trigger, cleansing the debuffs, and then, you know, she's got the skill 3 ready again. Now, the best case scenario is that you're fast enough so you can go before the enemy uses any non-attack skill. Because what happens is that there's that window where it's super powerful, especially if you're able to push her combat gymnast with attack buff between the combo of using skill 3 and then, you know, using the skill 3 again because it was reset since the enemy used a non-attack skill, her passive triggered, resetting skill 3. Now, you don't need the attack buff. That's the thing. You don't need attack buff. You don't need to build attack on her. You don't need to build critical hit damage on her because you can just rely upon the fixed damage, which is very strong. And also, so basically, her purpose is to be sort of like untouched, to be like unaffected by debuffs, or she can at least cleanse them with the passive. And she needs to be stunning. You can soul burn, skill 1, stun 100% chance. If you have the effectiveness, which you need to pump up, having effectiveness on her is going to be very powerful. 2-turn stun with the skill number 3 is insanely strong. Now, if you're able to land that early on, before you even build up your fixed damage with her, so on the initial skill 3, the second one, and stuff like that, it's going to be super strong. 2-turn stun, I mean, the hero will be, you know, crowd control. It will not be able to do anything unless they are able to cleanse that. You've got issues when you're fighting a team that can constantly apply and reapply immunity buff. So you've got to be careful in the picking phase, and you need to be picking her versus the right teams, right? So if they're going to be applying immunity the whole battle, right? If you know, if they are not going to be triggering any non-attack skill, that's going to be an issue because that passive is very strong, allowing you to do a back-to-back skill number 3. It's super strong initially when she didn't build the fixed damage up to 20,000. But even like when she built the 20,000 fixed damage and then they use a non-attack skill, things will be happening very quick. Landing critical hits with her skill number 3 is super important. So you might want to wear an artifact that has hit chance on it. So you could be wearing a symbol of unity from the guild shop. It's going to be a big deal when you're fighting evasion-based heroes, not going to be as stressful, let's say. You're going to be landing your skill 3, you're going to be doing critical hits more often, right? Also, if you're fighting an ice hero with her, it's not going to be as devastating because you're going to have potentially a 70% hit chance versus them instead of 50% chance to hit them. So that's going to be a big deal because if you cannot do a critical hit, you will not be able to trigger the fixed damage. And it's such an important thing, especially when you build up to like 15,000 and 20,000 fixed damage. That's the one shot, which is real good. It's real good. Even heroes that cannot be one-shotted, right, like a Tempest Siren, you can just have the direct hit of the skill number 3, and then the fixed damage that triggers after, you might be able to double tap heroes like that can't be one-shotted otherwise. So that's very nice. I really like the stuns that she's able to provide. You know, the soul burn is constantly saving your souls for using the soul burn with the skill number 1 is just very strong. Like, I'm running a team that has another hero that can be stunning as well, like Ambitious Tywin. It can be quite annoying for the enemy if they can't do nothing, right? Like, a stun is super strong. They're losing their turn, they have to rebuild the combat gymnast. They're losing the turn they were building combat gymnast for, and then they have to rebuild a whole 100% combat gymnast the next time, right? So it gives you enough time to potentially stun lock the enemy. If you have Winter fast enough and you're able to cycle fast enough, and that skill number 3 helps, it definitely helps because you're getting a 50% combat gymnast push. And also, you see me using Emilia, which is a really powerful combination with her. It's not so much about the attack buff, but more about the 50% combat gymnast push that she's able to do with her skill number 2. Now, there's other heroes that can push combat gymnast of one of your ally or your whole team, and that's going to allow you to potentially do skill number 3 back to back with Winter, and it's especially strong early on when you're building it up. The faster you build those fixed damage stack to 2, 3, 4, the faster you're gonna be able to start dropping them or putting like massive pressure on them, and they're not going to be able to heal that, because if their health bar goes from full to 0 in one hit, I mean it's 2 hit because there's the direct hit plus the tick that does the fixed damage after, but that's going to be very, very strong. And also, you don't have to worry when you're fighting a team that has some heroes maybe with super high defense. They have maybe defense buff, stuff like that. Then you're going to be able to just pop those. You know, like, you don't have to worry about the big damage mitigation that they might have because of the defense they have, the base defense, the gear that they have, plus the defense buff, which can get pretty ridiculous. Now, the enemy can definitely survive the 20,000 fixed damage, right? Especially if you don't build her with damage, but that's the way to go, right? Like, they might have Aureus, right? They might have Barrier. Constantly reapplying Barrier on their team is going to be deadly for you, not allowing you to do the one-shot. So, talking about some weaknesses with Winter, if you cannot do a critical hit with the skill number 3 because the enemy was able to pick an ice hero or more, and you're trying to desperately take out that hero, you can be in for a rough time. If they're ice hero and they have some evasion, that could be really, really bad. Now, if they're an ice hero and they have, or it doesn't even matter, they could be any element, right? And they have the anti-critical hit buff on them. That means 50% chance to not receive a critical hit, and it's so important that you do a critical hit with her skill number 3. You're gonna be in for a rough time, and that's where she's weak. That's definitely where she her biggest weakness, right? She gets knocked out of stealth, she doesn't have good survivability, let's say, and they decide to single her out real quick. That could be another weakness right there, but it's going to be rough for the enemy to pull something like this, you know, effectively in multiple battles. Yeah, she has 118 base speed, so you can't go on turn 1 with her. You don't want her to have your best speed gear because she's not working with 127, 128, 129 base speed. So that wouldn't be the smart play right there. But like I said, hit that 100% crit chance. Get a nice amount of effectiveness on her because you want to be landing those stuns. They are a big part of her kit. If you want to really put her kit to good use, you need to be stunning. And especially if one of their heroes is about to go and you stun them, that's super strong. But I'd like to hear what you guys think about Winter in the comment section. Ways that you've built this hero, team compositions, type of synergies that you're, you know, employing part of the team with her. So yeah, let us know in the comment section. That's going to be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all ya do. Peace out for now.